Hello Commanders, welcome back to my channel. My name's Cmdr Embryo and I've got another Corvette build for you today. Now, if anyone's seen my previous build, you'll know that I was using pulse lasers on everything, on all the hard points, except for the two huge hard points where I put the two plasma accelerators on there. Anyone who has watched that and has watched any of my videos will know that I find that build really fun. I love the plasma accelerators, sort of just because they're fixed. You know, there's a skill in hitting, and often you miss, but when you do hit, it makes a big difference. However, looking on the Facebook groups and stuff like that, and just generally browsing, one guy, forgive me, I can't remember your name, mate, but he said his build was a beam laser on the large hardpoint, and then all cannons. So I thought, well, that sounds a fun, sort of interesting build to try out. It sort of reminds me of the old World War II battleships, you know, the heyday of the battleship era, before the advent of aircraft carriers and you know, air warfare, where it was just big cannons and you just blew the hell out of everyone. So I thought I'd give it a try, and there is a pretty much a sort of, there's a bit of a parallel really between the battleship design and this. But I'll zip into the loadout screen in a second. We'll go through the loadout and then we'll take it out into the local res site and see if we can test it out and see what it's like. So without further ado, we'll zip on over. Okay, so now we're in the outfitting screen. You can see here's the hardpoint allocations that I've done. So it is literally just like the biggest cannons. These are all the cannons are gimbaled, as is the beam laser. So we've got the two large giants up there. I won't go to the other one. We've got the beam laser underneath, and then we've got all the other points, including the teeny weeny ones, got cannons on as well. Everything else is the same as my previous build, but anyone who hasn't seen that, we've got the 4 shield boosters, a kill warrant scanner, 2 heat sinks, and a chaff launcher. If we go to the internals, again, no difference there. Still haven't saved up enough to get the military bulkheads. Well, I have, but I could sell the other ships, but I'm not going to bother. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. The power plant, A8, thrusters A7. So as you can see, it's the best you can get, except for the sensors. I am considering upgrading the sensors, especially with this cannon build, because of the reduced power usage. We go on down. We've got A7 shield generator, 2 A7 shield cell banks. I am considering getting rid of one of these, because I can't have them both on at the same time with the power situation as it is. But again, a little bit of tinkering, but this build was purely just to check out the change in the weapon loadout, and in all honesty, the rest of the build is you're still a Corvette with a lot of A-rated items, so its endurance factor is ridiculous. All right, so again, back to the hard points. So we've got the 2 cannons, beam laser, and all the rest of the cannons. Let's go and check out this bad boy and see what it's like. Okay, so we've just entered the res site. See what we've got. One little bogey on the target here. Looks like he's oh no, I was going to say it looks like he's a friendly, just mine him, but he is a wanted Fer-de-Lance. Right, so I'm not going to bother scanning him for this. I'm just going to show you. So I've got the beam laser set to my first fire group, my trigger, so I can use that to get rid of his shields. So we'll give that a go. Now, one thing with the beam laser on the bottom, you have to keep your nose up. It's because it's placed on the bottom of the ship. It can you know, you can get occluded with the nose of your ship if your nose is too low. So it's a little thing to bear in mind. Right, now we've got his shields off. let's get in a bit closer. Get on its tail, and then we can unleash the cannons. Now, obviously, the gimbaled cannons do miss a fair amount, but this is where you need to reduce your distance. Yeah, not hitting any of them. But if I can get close and sort of almost do like a jousting run, here you go, where he stopped. All right, now we've got him nicely in our sights. I just love the sound. Just those deep thuds. There you go. Short work of the Fer-de-Lance, to be honest. Obviously, he didn't put up a huge fight. He was just a master NPC. Right, we'll see what else we can find. See if we can find a larger target. Okay, so we spot some gunfire in the distance. Go and check out what the deal is. Hopefully they don't expend themselves before we got there. Obviously, top speed and jump range is are the two Achilles heel of this ship. You know, I mean, anyone who wants to run away from you in a ship that can do more than, well, 270 meters per second with this particular build is going to get away from you. Okay, so we've got a wanted Python, so it's a sort of similar size to the FDL. We'll see how this build fares with this. Just behind the asteroid. There you go. Right.
Scan detected. Target shields offline.
So I haven't been targeting his power plant or anything. I'll give that a go now, but I don't think there's any need. It's just ridiculous. Look at that.
Target destroyed.
There you go, Sasha. We just save you. Alright, what I wouldn't mind finding is an anaconda. This ASP will do for the moment. So again, it's just that because it's a large beam laser, it makes fairly short work of the shields. And also because of the limited sort of power usage of the weapon loadout, you can see I've only got 2 pips to I've got 2 pips to weapons. Which allows you to, sorry, I'm trying to shoot and think. Which allows you to keep more keep more pips back for your engines, which is really handy against the smaller ships especially. Or to chuck it all into shields. Chuck it all into systems. Looks like this ASP is actually faring better than the Python, but still going to go the same way. There you go.
Target destroyed.
I mean, the Corvette is a hugely flattering ship. It really does. Oh, there you go. We got a little test here. Well, not a test, but it's a Imperial Eagle. That's what I mean. You've got to get your nose up for that beam laser to work. Keeps dropping down. We'll get this guy's shields down.
Under attack. Target shields offline.
And we'll see how much damage the cannons can do if we can get them to connect. It's that large one I want to connect there, if I can. Alright, as he turns, he's going to try and boost away. It's these jousting sort of shots that... It's not ideal against these small ships. I mean, it will certainly do it. You'll get enough hits on there. And if you noticed, I've only just used the... I wasn't really using the beam there until the end.
Target destroyed.
Poor old Sasha's getting mullered here, so we'll help him out with another eagle. So this is a standard eagle. Okay, we'll pop his shields. Remember to keep that nose up. So often I forget.
Target shields offline.
We could just keep the... Oh dear, it looks like they took out poor old Sasha. Unless he took out the other eagle. Did you see the cannons are really, really terrible against smaller, nippier targets, unless you're in close range. In which case, the beam laser will serve, will do exactly what you need. You know what I mean? It's but against larger targets, the cannons are absolutely amazing. Right, so it looks like his friend is taking an interest. Another eagle. Again, keeping that nose up. See, didn't listen to myself then. There you go. See, that can be a little bit frustrating. It's not on your mind. As soon as he gets above the sort of midpoint of the ship, the plimsoll line, or if it was a maritime ship, you got no bead on the target.
Target shields offline.
But against the larger targets, these cannons are absolutely glorious. That's it, at short range. So what I found is a good way to use this build is to do like a jousting run. So you come running in, so they reduce that range, let off a whole pile of volleys, and then get away, and then come back in for another jousting run, which is a very different sort of build to the pulse and plasma accelerator build, where it was you were using the agility of the ship to keep on the tails and keep on their 6, and then pick them off with the pulses and the plasma accelerators. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to see if I can find a larger target. I'll cut back in a moment. Alright, in the absence of an anaconda, I found this clipper. So this is the size I'm after, but it's got the speed to be able to get away. So I'm just sort of sauntering up to it nice and slowly. It's picked its target. Right, let's boost on it. This is where I may need a bit more systems power. But we'll keep it as it is for the moment. Right, let's pick his shield off.
Target shields offline.
Zips behind that asteroid, which I'm going to hit. Right. Okay, so see the difference where you got a larger target to hit. So again, I'm not using my beams at the moment. There you go. Disappeared. Job done.
Target destroyed.
Short work of the larger ships. Okay, so we just come into a bit of a spot here that's got some lots and lots of bits. So I don't know what we've got here. Let's have a look. I think we've got a couple Pythons. This one here is wanted. It's a real shame I haven't been able to find an Anaconda. I'm not being efficient with these hits. I just want to get this guy's shields down, and then we can start hitting him with the main event. Now that they're all reloading, I'm just going to keep the beam on him all the time.
Under attack.
So again, we'll do the whole jousting thing, get a few volleys in. Perfect. I don't think the larger ones. I don't think I'm getting the larger ones to connect, unfortunately. But let's see what we can do.
Target destroyed.
So yeah, it's a good build. I mean, it is. I'm unsure if I find it as fun as my Pulse and Plasma Accelerator build. I just like the challenge of hitting with those Plasma Accelerators.
Scan detected.
Okay, so we'll end on this gunship. This is a pretty large ship. Unfortunately, as I said, it's not an Anaconda, but we'll see.
Detected.
Make a start with the beam laser. Get close because he's chucking his chaff out. He's just keeping that nose up. So he's not really doing a great deal now. So right, so his shields are down. And he's showing us his belly. Obviously the gunship's pretty well armoured.
Under attack.
Oh, we're not worried about that. Right. There you go. I mean, the NPCs are certainly helping me out here. They're not really attempting to kill me in any great stead. Last night I did. I tried out this build. Took on a wing of 5, and I had to run away. I didn't die, but I ended up with like 8% hull or something. It was like 3 clippers and 2 vultures or something stupid like that. It was a pretty heavy wing. Right, so we'll get back into the system, into the port, debrief.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Alright, okay, that was a nice swift landing there. This build is really good fun. I'm tossing up whether or not it's as fun as my previous one. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I just love getting those plasma accelerators to hit. You know, taking those pot shots at distance. So I think if I was pushed, I'd prefer my other build. However, that is way more power intensive, and you got more to think about with that build. This is a real sort of you feel fairly invincible. Obviously, not totally invincible. You will get yourself into trouble if you bite off more than you can chew. But it does give you the ability to get away as long as you notice you're in trouble early enough. Because obviously, only a cutter can mass lock this ship, so you should be able to get away from whatever issue you're in. But in terms of this build itself, it's fun in terms of I love all the booms of the cannons, the hits, the explosions shown on the ships, and pretty much the short work this build does make of the larger ships especially. So if you haven't really checked out cannons before, like I hadn't really, in all honesty, I checked, put them one or two on the odd ship here and there, but not. I'm very much an energy weapon sort of guy. Yeah, if you haven't checked them out, do so. Try it on another ship. Try out all cannon build on something else. You know what I mean? It's but for this, it's a perfectly viable build, and with more optimizations, rather than just taking the old weapon loadout and putting the new one on. If I actually really give this ship some thought, I could probably reduce its weight a bit, make it more maneuverable and a bit more speedy. Because of that sort of energy overhead that you've got with this compared to my other build, you've got more to play with, more options. But I hope this has been sort of helpful to you, and maybe sort of food for thought for yourself. Thank you to the guy out there that gave me the inspiration for this on Facebook. I apologise. I wish I could remember your name. Sorry, I can't. But I hope, I hope you find this good. If you manage to check it out and leave your feedback, give me. I'd like to know, how your Corvette build is, and if you've got any suggestions for me, because obviously I'm suggesting stuff to you guys, or if you've got any builds that you can't quite get to yet because of your credit balance, you want me to try out, give me a comment, send me a message on Twitter or whatever, and yeah, just make sure when you're out there, fly safe. Can't do that, fly dangerous. All right. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon.